We are back. We now have red wine in our glasses. Gamay? Mm-hmm. Is that what?
Gamay
I wasn't listening, and I was hearing like the scuttle behind me that it was Gamay, not Pinot. So it's always a nice treat when you get to shift gears a little bit. Mm-hmm. So with us now is Shea and Vincent with Maypop Wines, Oregon Wine Farm. And all
Maypop Wine Co.
Yes. Is that the official?
Yes, that is the official.
That's the brand.
Maypop Wine Co.
Yep. Sounds very retro.
Yeah,
sure. It reminds me of Pop Shop Pop. Do you know what Pop Shop Pop is?
I do.
That's actually impressive. That ages me so much. That is a Ramblin' Rod days.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Yes, way back when. I was on Ramblin' Rod once, actually twice, I think. I was very shy. I didn't like the camera.
Look at you now.
Okay, I know. Okay, we've grown so much. Okay, let's talk wine and stories. Because when I met you, we met down at Bad Dog Bakery. Mm-hmm. Big plug for them. If you have not had their maple bars, you are missing out in life on so many levels.
The McMinnville legend.
Yes.
Breakfast sandwich, amazing.
Yes.
Scallion
cinnamon
cream
rolls,
cheese.
everything down there is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And I have not been paid to say that at all. But and I don't go every week, or I.
Shout out to Summon Coffee.
Yes,
Yep.
and the coffee too. It is a great spot.
Yep.
Linfield Avenue. There you go. Go. Okay, so that's where we met.
Yep.
And we're a little late because we were letting sheep out that day. Yeah, so I was so intrigued as soon as you walked out. And as soon as you texted me and said, there are sheep involved today. And I'm like, okay.
I think it was something along the lines of, be a few minutes late, sheep trouble.
Yes.
And we left it at that.
It's something like that. Which, with as many farmers as I've worked with and growing up on a farm, it's usually the cows are out and you're late for everything.
Yeah.
And that is the worst thing to wake up to is my dad yelling through the house that the cows are out and you needed to get your asses downstairs, boots on, because there was things to chase.
Group effort.
Right.
It was a big group effort. Mm-hmm. And everybody was mad by the time we were done. So there was that too. So, okay, let's start with your story and your history and all that good stuff. We have traveled down my history with, Ramblin' Rod and Dairy Cows now. So it's your turn.
You first.
Oh, all right. Well, Shea and I both, it's kind of amazing. We have really interesting kind of parallel lives before we met each other, but both grew up in California, grew up Shea in San Diego. I grew up in the Bay Area. Families that were somewhat involved in agriculture, but we both grew up making wine with our family, me particularly with my grandparents. Grandparents immigrated from Italy in the 50s, met on the boat coming to the United States. My grandfather was sponsored by a woman in Texas to come to the United States to go to university. My grandmother came to be with her father. First thing my grandfather did when they settled in Saratoga, California in 1959 was called up the local nursery and asked what grapevine was going to produce the most in Saratoga, California. And they told him Zinfandel. So he planted his backyard to Zinfandel. And I grew up helping him pick grapes and stomp on them and make wine. And that was the wine that my grandfather drank at the dinner table every night.
That's so cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
He in turn inspired my father to plant vines in our backyard. So I grew up with 30 Cabernet and Merlot vines and helped my dad make wine in our basement. And at 15, I had a really great biology teacher who sparked my interest into the biological sciences. And then that same year, I realized I could go to university and study winemaking. And I applied to 3 schools for wine and vit and 3 schools for poli-sci. And I got into all of the wine schools and none of the poli-sci schools. So that was
it was meant to
decided.
be.
Yeah. Fate.
So I studied winemaking at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo on the central coast of California, and did my first harvest at 19. Made wine for a couple of years in San Luis Obispo. Did a couple harvests in Napa. Was fortunate enough to be able to go down to New Zealand and do a harvest down there. Came back to California, worked for over a year in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And then in 2019, I had the opportunity to come up to Oregon to do a harvest at Bergstrom. And I fell in love with the Willamette Valley. And I always knew that I wanted to farm, but with the land prices in California and the water availability, I knew that was never really going to be a reality. And I arrived here and looked around and realized that it was possible here. And then moved here full time in June of 2020 and met Shea shortly afterwards.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
That was a whirlwind.
I know. It's like that's a very bookmarked, like tiny amount of that story.
Yeah,
which is
I'm
actually
so
very
intrigued
surprising.
by the grandfather and the father making wine and the Zinfandel and whatever else in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I did not know that was a thing. Like people actually made wine in their bathtubs, their closets, their basements, garagista. I thought somebody had made that term up. I actually think called BS on them on the podcast. I'm like, you just made that up. That is not a word. Oh no, it's a word. It's a whole thing. So I think, you know, that whole traditionality of especially immigrants coming from Italy and France and I would say mostly European, you know, descents or whatever is so strong. You know, it doesn't matter where in the United States they were finding grapes to make wine because you drink wine with your meals.
It's part of the ritual. It's part of daily life is there's wine at the table at every meal. And it's not about the wine, but it's about everything, the community and how the wine elevates the food and the food elevates the wine, and you add in the right company and you're onto a whole another dimension. But there's always wine on the dinner table. And it's this really interesting history of immigrants in the U.S. Continuing that tradition of home winemaking in kind of all corners of the U.S.
It was mind-blowing for my husband when I took him to Spain several years ago. He'd never been to Europe, and he had to pay for the water that he asked for, but the wine was free. And he's like, how is this even remotely a thing? And I'm like, you're in Europe. There's a lot of things that, you know, and is the gas and no gas for the water that really threw him off for a while too. So I love that traditionality of bringing that with them and continuing it down through generations and keeping that history alive and those traditions alive as well. So super cool. Okay, let's swap to you.
I grew up making wine with my father, and my father was mestizo, mixed, Basque, Spanish, and indigenous Mexican Indian. And I grew up in a ag family on both sides. My mother was Eastern European, but they worked in like, you know, nursery and propagation and what have you. And I was a late in life child. I was born when my dad was 38, which in today's terms is like a standard millennial thing. Yeah. Great time to have kids at 38. And my father was going to retire early, around 56, and he was kind of looking around to see what would be interesting as a hobby, right? And we had a half acre of lawn in our backyard, and I grew up in North County, San Diego. And that time was the height of the water crisis, where you probably couldn't take a full bath once a week because your water bill would be like $600.
Wow.
So my dad was kind of trying to figure that out, and loved wine. Always loved wine. Cheap wine. Like, big fan of like the Circus Petite Syrah that you still see at like the grocery store.
Is that a thing?
Absolutely.
Is it like part of the whole casino thing, Circus?
No,
or
it's like,
what is it?
Michael David,
the winery
something
down there. Yeah. You know, definitely like a lot of mega purple, like big tannin, like big wine. And in San Diego at the time, there was a lot of really small winemakers popping up in Ramona. Like, Temecula was always a thing, but Temecula is Temecula. Anyway, we can discuss that at a different time. But there's a lot of these like great little home winemakers. And at the time, also San Diego had a county fair that did home winemaking, which was very cool. And so we kind of played around with that. And my father did the same thing that Vince's grandfather did. But, 50 years later was ask, call up vintage nurseries and ask, what grows in Vista, California, what works. And we kind of ended up with this like interesting hodgepodge of mostly Grenache. Some mission that my father had found through, one of the like local missions, like truly like the missions of California. He had gotten cuttings of that, which is also called Pais. And we also had like a little bit like Moscato Alexandria and like Zinfandel, and we ended up planting our backyard 2 grapes. I was 10 years old when we did this, which is awesome. It was just like, I started off driving the lawnmower, but now I could drive the lawnmower through obstacles.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Makes for a great driving experience.
Yeah, I love to drive the tractor.
Yes.
I drive the tractor every day. Not every day. I drive the tractor 6 times every month during the growing season. Anyway, so we didn't know what we were going to do with these grapes. We figured we'd make wine. Wine is kind of boring. You ferment it, throw it in a bottle. It's all good. And we were going to and 99 Ranch Market, which was also always a treat to go to the 99 Ranch Market in Mira Mesa. And if no one has ever heard of 99 Ranch Market, it is the best, one of the best Asian markets stateside.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's just a huge market. You can get Chinese goods, you can get Korean goods, Japanese goods, all these things. So it's always a treat. My father was always very global in that way. We'd always get a little bit of everybody. And that was a really fun experience, you know, especially growing up mixed, you know, getting to see a little bit of everything in the cultural melting pot that, you know, is America. And on our way down, we were listening to an NPR bit on champagne and how people made champagne and the history of champagne. You're like, oh, why make wine? Let's make method champenois wines at home. And it's easy, you know. You ferment something to dryness. You add a little bit of sugar and a yeast. You put a crown cap on it. It ferments in your basement. You forget about it for 3 years. And you're like, oh, shit. I made this sparkling stuff, and it actually tastes pretty great. So we did that. That was our first wine that we ever made, was a sparkling method champenois Grenache.
That seems so
That
ballsy.
was like rosé.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was like
Do it on
apricots.
hard mode.
Yeah. I was
yeah,
like 14.
I mean, it's like you bypassed like
Yeah.
like
6
high,
steps.
high school and the entire like grade school step and went straight to like
PhD.
master's
Oh, it's so
degree.
fun.
Yeah.
My father had this scar from like, we didn't know what we were doing when we were like adding sugar to these bottles, so we didn't know what the pressure was. My father had the scar from disgorging in a triangle shape from a bottle kicking back into his arm, basically. Disgorging on our driveway.
Whoops.
It's awesome.
It's
a great time.
It's like a badge of honor.
Yeah. I got
Absolutely.
shocked by the stemmer a few times. It was,
It
winemaking
just-
is fun.
Yeah. What doesn't hurt you and what doesn't kill you just
Yeah.
makes you
Look
stronger.
where we are now.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So that's how I came into wine. And then I went to school for biochemistry, thinking I was going to go into some medical career. And I got to see a knee surgery in person.
Ew.
And I decided I didn't want to do that to someone's body. I didn't want to inflict, and granted it was, you know, helping someone, but I didn't really want to inflict that onto someone.
That's fair.
And so I came back to wine. So my first commercial harvest in Oregon was 2018. And that was after helping my father build a house. Because, again, we do nothing easy.
Was it still down in the same area?
No, it was up here. So
Oh, okay.
my parents became like refugees, like climate refugees, basically, from California, as many of us are.
Yeah.
You know, you see it more and more. And they came up in 2015, and after I graduated in 16, I came up and helped my father build a house.
In this area?
A little bit down south.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And actually, my father passed away in 2023. And his favorite thing, especially when I was even doing like, you know, internships and like being the cellar rat or whatever, is my daughter's a winemaker.
Oh.
So it's come full circle, which is
Yeah.
really, really neat.
Well, and what a pride moment,
Yeah.
you know, as well, especially with his, you know, there's something about farm kids. There just is. The ingenuity, the strength, the tenacity, I mean, you can ask my husband. He could tell me no all day long, and it just pisses me off and
Yeah,
fuels
you just
me.
do it.
I wait till he's not looking, and then I do it. Other than he has hidden the batteries from all the power tools from me, so I can't seem to find them. And
Get the plug in.
yeah, well, you know, that's next. I haven't
Nice.
got that desperate yet, but
Might be buying your own set of batteries here soon.
yeah, yes, and hiding them
Yeah.
in my drawers. Yes, but yeah, there's just something about farm kids, and there's a lot of pride that comes with it. Like, I mean, I was with my dad yesterday,
Yeah.
and the pride that he exudes with seeing me doing what I've done, and you know, I didn't stay in farming. He didn't want us to because it's hard.
No.
It's a
is
hard
hard.
lifestyle. So, especially in the dairy industry, at least, you know, it's hard anymore.
Yeah.
Farming's just hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what it is. So, where was your first intern at up here?
I went and played in the big facility of Holleran
Okay.
under Mark, who's legacy, but really legacy is how they said it in upstate New York, but goes by Lagasse now. A wonderful human and great.
He's very
host.
nice.
He's wonderful and like just so friendly and willing to teach you. And we had a great team that year. And Arabella Hall was one of the people that was kind of winemaker for harvest as well at that facility. And we had so many fun, like Jessica Maseko was there as well. And you just saw all these really cool people and also really cool women doing this, and like small women doing this.
Jessica's not a big person.
No, and neither is Arabella. And it was just like, oh yeah, I could do this. No problem. You know, you do things right, you learn how to do it, you drive the forklift. You know, anybody can do this. You just want to be here. And it's your work ethic and, you know, how you present yourself and, you know, do you throw yourself at the thing? And it's beautiful and so creative as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I always love the science of it, but like as I get older, it's more of that like nuance and creativity it keeps everybody coming back. That loves
it seems to be kind of, you know, a drug to an extent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A legalized one, you know, for the most part, I guess. But yeah, it definitely, it seems like it's really hard to get away from it once you're in it. And even as someone who's not making wine and is not growing the grapes, just the coming back to it with the interesting pieces of it, whether it's the story or, you know, the new varietals that are coming to the area and becoming, you know, so exciting for, you know, people that don't want to drink Chardonnay and Pinot Noir all the time. You know, and the farming aspect for me is so intriguing. Yeah. I don't want to do it. I want to look at it and enjoy what you guys are doing and be a supporter from the outside. I'll bring you snacks and beer all day long.
Great.
If that's what you need. But it is magical and it just continues to bring you back. Yeah. And then you know, you add food into it and you bring friends and it's just, yeah, it's kind of a vicious circle that is just beautiful.
And there's also something so beautiful about living your life within the season. You know, it's like you feel like at this time of year in March, it's like, oh, I'm awake again. You know, and then you go through the summer and being in so much sun all summer, all spring, and into the fall and like cooling down with the ferments and cooling down with the fall. And it's really beautiful. And then you have your rest. December, and then you're back at it in January and you're getting your vitamin D and you're pruning and you're doing all of that. It's really lovely. And you remember years through their weather and, you know, what happened out there and the quality of the fruit and all of that. It's a really interesting time capsule that you grasp.
And I think that's what, you know, so interesting with wine and people that are going beyond the box, you know, in the grocery store. And there's nothing wrong with that wine. If that's what you love, drink it. But that wine has to taste the same every year. So there's manipulation to it. So you're not enjoying the vintage and what Mother Nature did that year. And, you know, was there a frost after bud break and, you know, all that goes into it. And explaining that to somebody who just drinks box wine, I had a conversation with somebody last week about it and they're like, that's a thing? And I'm like, oh, you know, you've talked to a winemaker when they go, oh yeah, it was a wet year that year, or that was the devil's bubble that year and it was hot, you know, and the wine was this because of this. And it is a story within a bottle. And I think it's cool.
It's very cool.
I haven't heard the devil's bubble before. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to use that all the time.
Yeah. No, it was definitely the devil's bubble that year. It was so hot. Yeah. And I can't even take credit for that. That was somebody else. But I'm like, that explains it perfectly. Yes. Okay. So you've gone from winemaker and now you're vineyard manager professionally.
Yeah, I'm a viticulturalist. So I've been the viticulturalist for Furioso since 21. I've been working there since 2019. I used to have like the weird half schedule where I'd cellar some days of the week and then work the tasting on the weekends. And I can sell wine, but I hate people. So
that's fair.
That was really, really hard, especially post-COVID. Like those few months after COVID where it was just like people were wild.
Yeah.
Like people did not know how to be in public.
Get back into society.
Learning how to be people again.
Yeah. There was, it was just crazy. And then during 2020, we were so lucky to still be employed. That was huge. You know, we kept our healthcare during that time. And what we did instead of tastings and a lot of cellar work was we went and did vineyard work. And we went up to our Yamhill Carlton site with Dominique and at the time our cellar master Paul and my friend Melanie, who's now left the industry but still loves it. And we moved wires and shoot and did all this stuff that I loved doing. And I loved being outside. And to be outside in a beautiful place during 2020 and not trapped in an apartment somewhere.
Yep.
That was massive.
Yeah.
That was absolutely massive. And I think, you know, looking back at 2020 and those times that felt so isolating, we're not, in a way. But it was also so beautiful to reconnect with this place and with nature. And I think Dom, who is my boss, Dominique Mahe, the winemaker at Furioso, saw that and was like, you want to do this? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, go back to school. That's where I met Jonathan.
Yep.
That guy in the corner. We were actually in the same group. We actually had to prune rows together. Saw some crazy shit.
I wouldn't guess that, considering that he did deem himself as the wild child. So
Yes.
my guess is he's not tame.
Yes, but a really lovely cohort of people.
Yeah.
You know, and this is like early 2021, right? We're still all in masks. And it was fun. Granted, we were there a little late, but it worked. And I was at the time working 6 days a week because I was still going to school. Mm-hmm. And that's the same time that I met Vince. So I had a new relationship. I was going to school. I was working full time. It was fun.
So I got to ask, because I'm nosy.
Yeah.
So how did we meet?
Yeah, I moved to Willamette Valley to McMinnville full-time in June of 2020. Had an impossibly hard time finding a room to rent out here. Didn't realize the rental market was so tight. Ended up finding an entire house to rent, and one of my good friends, Kate, who I studied winemaking with in Cal Poly, had moved here at the same time, so we decided to go in and rent a house together. Kate ended up being Shea's intern at Furioso for Harvest that year in 2020. So we had met in summer of 2020 through Kate.
Went through Harvest.
We were both
didn't
seeing
see
other
anybody.
people
Yeah.
at the time, but and then went through Harvest. You get shut in the cellar and you don't see anyone but your
anybody
coworkers
for
for maybe
cool.
your roommate, like 2 ships passing in the night. And then in February, it was Kate's birthday. Had a birthday party. Shea came out and we kind of reconnected. And a few days later, Kate says, "Hey, can I give your number to Shea?" I was like, "Yeah."
I was shoot thinning Chardonnay on a Saturday. And Vince was making a lot of eyes at me at this party. And I was like,
You're not
what's
very
one more
slick,
thing
apparently.
to add? Yeah, so that happened. And our
I'm just a
second
friendly
date
person. And
was the ice storm of 2021.
Infamous.
Infamous ice storm of 2021. And we were stuck together in the house that he was living in McMinnville for 6 days.
yeah,
That was a maker or breaker.
yeah. No, neither of us thought our second date would last for 6 days, but
Yeah.
definitely sink or swim at that point.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah,
Yes.
Married for a year and
almost 2,
Almost
coming
2
up on it.
years,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we got married in
May of 2024. Okay.
Yeah.
May of 2024. We get married. We buy a farm.
in
get
March
married.
of 24. We
And
got
we
married in
s-
May,
And we start Maypop by that fall.
so 24 was a
When did
big year
sheep
for
come
us.
Sheep don't come in till last year in July.
Okay, so
June.
Yeah, June of
so you
25.
had some time to settle in before you had
Added another wrinkle in.
sheep sitting to do.
Sheeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like the sheeps.
Yeah, nothing like cramming it all in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
taking your time.
Both of us, 2023 was a really hard year for both of us. Vince lost his grandfather.
Both of my grandfathers.
You lost your grandfather first.
Yeah.
We lost our dog. We lost my father. And then we lost Nono.
Yeah.
So 23
Yowza.
was like, anything could be better
Yeah.
than 2023.
Yeah.
And so that's why 2024 got a little weird.
Pack it all on and
It's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
have to rebound hard
We have
from a
to
year like
rebound
that.
hard.
You may as well just go for broke
Otherwise,
and
what are you gonna
pull all
do?
the punches. Yeah.
well, I also lost my job too
Yeah.
in the beginning of 23.
Yeah. It was really not a great year.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
look where we are now.
Absolutely terrible. Okay, let's talk about Maypop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you sent me home with a white blend.
Yes.
When I read, which was delicious, by the way. I drank
one.
the whole bottle by myself.
Cool.
Yes, I did. I finished the whole thing.
Wow.
It didn't, not in one sitting.
What did you like about it?
It just was fresh, and the aromas, and it was the acids were really nice. I mean, the whole thing was just lovely.
Thanks.
Yes, easy to drink. And for a white wine that I can sip after work and with whatever I made that night for dinner.
Cool. That was the entire idea behind that wine.
Yes,
That's,
well,
that worked out.
you nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
So remind me again what was in that wine? What blend?
Yeah.
That was a Maypop White 2024 vintage, almost equal proportions of Riesling, Chardonnay, Gewürztraminer, and Albariño. You know, the classic Willamette Valley blend.
So Maypop is easy to say, easy to remember, fun, and encapsulates the idea that you should be able to drink any of these wines any day of the week and feel happy and joy without breaking the budget.
Love it.
And it's also anything but Pinot, all from the Willamette Valley.
So you're not making any Pinot at all?
No Pinot.
No Pinot.
There's a lot of Pinot in the Willamette Valley.
No Pinot
so
Blanc.
I get that.
No Pinot Gris.
If
no
you're
Pinot
none of the
Noir.
Pinots.
If you're a new
No.
brand and you're not making the best Pinot Noir in the valley, you're just gonna get lost.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's what to Jonathan's point is that earlier throughout the country we're known for Pinot Noir here in the Willamette Valley. It's starting to become known for Chardonnay as well, just defining that new style of Chardonnay for the U.S. But locally, those Pinots don't move in terms of restaurants, their placements. But yeah, then it's like, oh, you have a Chardonnay. Oh, you have a Gamay. Okay. Take that. Our day jobs are still in
Pinot.
high-end Pinot Noir and
Yeah.
Chardonnay, and
Yeah.
we have nothing against Pinot Noir, but
I don't reach for Pinot when I go home.
That's fair.
and also as we're warming up here in the valley, we've had an unseasonably warm spring this year, the spring and winter.
Winter for sure.
We're on track for a very early bud break, barring a late frost. Knock on wood. we're gonna be picking Pinot in August this year.
That's crazy.
That's what we're on track for. That leaves a lot of nice weather to ripen and bring in other varieties that 30 years ago, when the valley was originally being planted, were never thought about.
Yeah.
Cabernet Franc, Syrah, Albariño.
Yep. All good things. I mean, there's even talk about the Albariño is super fun, but what other Spanish varietals can you grow here?
Mencia.
Mencia being planted in the Dundee Hills.
We've had Tempranillo in the
Crazy.
valley for a while, but not necessarily taking the most seriously. But
Now getting riper and more juicy. It's just
Yeah.
Pinot, unfortunately, is in the next 10 years, the quality of Pinot Noir in this valley is probably not going to be as beautiful as it is today.
we're going to lose a little bit of what makes Oregon Pinot,
Yeah.
and it'll be a little bit more similar to, say, a Russian River Pinot.
We're going to
all
lose
in
the
fruit.
acid. We're going to be more flabby. It's going to be a bigger tannic wine.
Primary fruit missing the savory characteristics, the forest floor that Oregon
And
Pinots encapsulate in the best vintages.
Absolutely. And there's going to be a few places like Willamette and north-facing sites that will retain that really high quality. But looking at climate models, and this is every year at the symposium, you see the
Every year, Greg Jones.
same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just in 50 years we're growing Nebbiolo
That's crazy.
and ripening it. One of the latest ripening varietals. So
Yeah.
Maypop is a celebration of the other. What is new? What is up and coming? What is fun? And it's for the valley for the most part, but we love to share, right?
So what all are you putting in bottle then?
2024.
Is that a loaded question?
No, it's good. It's kind of scary if we haven't thought about 2026 yet. 2024, we work with 5 varietals
Okay.
and cider apples. So in 2024, it's Chardonnay, Riesling, Gewürztraminer, Albariño, and Gamay.
Okay.
We made the white blend with 4 of those. We also made a sparkling blend with those same varieties but different proportions. Made 2 passes on the Chardonnay and the Riesling, an earlier pick for sparkling and a later pick for the still wines.
We did some Blanc de Blanc that is entourage
We'll see in
because I
like
love bubbles.
4 or 5
Why not?
4 or 5 more
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So-
why not?
So we
Yeah.
have the fizz, which is like that young, fresh, sparkling. We have the Blanc de Blanc that we'll see in a long time. We have also a very small bottling of Albariño because that fermenter was delicious. And it's like, okay, we'll just pull 2 kegs. And we bottled 12 cases.
We were supposed to get a ton of Albariño in 24, and the pick came in at 2/3 of a ton.
0.67.
So we got a barrel and change, but that barrel was so delicious. We really love what it brings to the blends: aromatic lift, some bitterness, tension and
peachio.
balance.
Yeah.
But that we couldn't not bottle some by itself. So we pulled off 2 kegs and bottled just 12 cases of the Albariño by itself.
It's all the stuff you can't do in a bigger facility. You know, it's all the stuff you're like, wow, I really love that. That's going to get lost. And it's like, it doesn't have to get lost.
I think that's the beautiful thing about the smaller winemakers is there really are no rules because you're kind of like, rogue independents that are just kind of rebels to an extent and doing what makes your heart happy.
Yeah. I think that's really it.
And I think that's really what it is that you get to make your own rules and do what you want to do and really not what's out being expected on the market necessarily. And it's interesting, with both the conversations with the Pinot Noir and kind of where it's going and how saturated it is here. And I can see why everybody's starting to branch out of the box. Yeah. And there's so many great varietals that are being grown and blends and even the stuff that people are bringing in from outside of the Willamette, whether it's from Walla Walla or the Rocks or Yakima Valley or whatever. It's really fun to see all the expression coming from everybody. And
pushing the boundaries a little bit.
In 2025, we work with 8 varietals. Oh. We add on Sauvy B, we add on Syrah, we add on Cab Franc, all from the Willamette Valley. We have Syrah that it's 22.2 bricks.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Where's that coming from?
Yamhill Carlton. Cab Franc came in at 24 bricks.
We can ripen these things. It's cool.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
That's even,
olive top and
kind of the
fat.
The good overall thing is when it's delicious, right?
Yeah, it's the most important
That's
thing.
the goal.
Yeah.
Right. That's the goal.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're pretty low intervention winemakers.
We're not no intervention, but
Yes.
we're low intervention. Wine should be made from grapes.
Not much else.
A little bit of yeast nutrient,
Maybe a little bit of sulfur.
A little sulfur to keep the wines fresh and stable, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Super
Okay,
easy.
I'm going to ask you the same question. Favorite wine, favorite snack?
Oof. Favorite wine? I think as stylistically, wines that are incredibly aromatic, either reds or whites. Right.
Don't disagree with that.
Incredibly aromatic. Just fill your glass, fill your nose, all of that. And then favorite snack? Well, sparkling and fries. Why not?
We just had a long conversation about sparkling and fries, and I think we're going to do, we're going to do a kind of an entire like episode on that, but I think we're going to switch to potato chips.
Are you eating sparkling and fries the entire time during the episode?
No.
Oh,
they're bringing their, we might, but they're bringing their chef. They have an in-house chef, and he's kind of running that tasting portion with what they're bringing.
Awesome.
I like that. I'm so happy for you.
Because I am a chip girl over a French fry girl.
Oh.
Okay.
All day long.
Yeah.
So
Wild.
I want to see what he's bringing to the table. There better be some spicy Doritos somewhere in there. Those are not good for you. They're great lighter fluid, but you know what? They're delicious.
Yeah, I heard they're good fire starter.
They
Yeah,
are
that's right.
good fire starter. Oh. Yep. Yep. Light right up.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. Well, I think I've taught you a couple things today.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
I'm ready. Just gotta hang with me a little bit longer. You're gonna find some weird redneck stuff that will come out. I'm sure.
We all need it. It's all necessary.
Yes.
It's that farm ingenuity.
It is that farm ingenuity and just having weird people in your family tree. That just it all fits right in there. Okay.
My snack pairing here is Gamay and goldfish.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Maybe I'd like goldfish with some Gamay because by themselves, not a fan.
Is it the cheddar or the Parmesan?
Cheddar, the classic.
Oh.
Weird.
Yeah.
She said it, not me. Yeah.
He likes to be controversial.
There's nothing. We had flaming hot Cheetos like a year or two ago with
what?
What did we have that with? I think it was a Cabernet of some sort.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
That person likes to hurt themselves.
yeah.
Doing some penance.
Yeah. It's, you never know unless you try it.
Yeah. I hope there was
Yes.
lime hot Cheetos.
Ooh, those could
That
be
would've been
interesting too.
Huh.
Yeah.
There's
only
so
way.
many great things to try. I'm always like popcorn with like truffle salt
Oh.
and pretty much anything. Like Pinot, Riesling. I really like with Pinot actually.
You like truffles.
Yeah.
You're in the right place though.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Okay, where do we find you? How do we buy your wine?
So Maypop, we're super small. So all of our wines are available on our website.
Maypopwine.com.
Okay.
We ship to most states.
most
Okay.
states, which is always good. We do local delivery for all y'all in the Valley. You can find us at Indie Wine Mixer. You can find us at all different kinds of events. We'll actually be at the Mac Food and Wine Classic this weekend. But we're doing our residency at Day by Day Bar right now in
that
Mac
at?
Market.
Oh.
Yeah, the bar and Mac Market.
We'll
So
be there
we're
until May 17th.
one of 3 featured wineries. So they've got our white and our Gamay right now. We'll switch that up here soon. And then we're available for private tastings at the Ricochet facility where we make wine.
Yep, you can do a barrel tasting. You could try that Syrah. It's juicy, juicy.
Ooh, I'm going to have to take you up on that because
That's good. Love
Syrah, you say Syrah, and I perk up just a little
That's
bit
good.
more.
That's what we
Especially
want.
these cool weather Syrahs are. That was my aha wine. Like everybody has like their aha wine. It was a Syrah from
Cool.
here. So,
Really?
Yes.
Do you remember who the producer
Oh, it
was?
was Robert Breton.
Cool.
Yes. It blew my mind because I was so novice, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, to me it was like, this is going to age me too because these are not. I'm pretty sure this you can't get this in the grocery store anymore. But the Hubba Bubba bubble gum, the
Oh, yeah,
grape,
yeah. We grew up with
So
like
good.
yes, when you bite it and it explodes in your
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
That's what that Syrah did
Yeah.
to
Don't
me.
you love when
and
a
I'm
wine
just
does
like,
that?
whoa! I had no idea that wine did that.
Yeah.
And from that second, I was hooked, and
Cool.
I'm like, wow. So. Anyhow, and then he promptly told me that it was not old enough and I should leave it in a bottle for a while and
Yeah.
let it sit. And I'm
Do
just
what
like,
you want.
I know. So I have my little legacy collection of Robert Britton Syrah. And I get a couple extra bottles so we can drink it every year. So
Good.
I love it. So, okay. Anything else we should add before we wrap this beast up?
The sheep are very cute, fuzzy lawnmowers.
There we go.
There you go.
I might have to come out and like change my attitude on sheep. 'Cause the only sheep that
You
I've
should
ever
see
had
Cookie.
was awful.
Cookie's real cute.
Okay.
She like this big. She's like milk chocolate. She's
Oh.
real fluffy right now.
There we go. Okay. Sounds like I need to make a field trip.
Mini vineyard sheep.
Yeah.
Mini
OBS.
vineyard. They're mini?
Yeah, they're mini.
Yeah, they're pretty small. So
They're Oregon vineyard sheep.
They're based on
Oh.
Baby Doll
I didn't know-
Southdown.
Those
And
are cute.
And then
Yeah.
they have a few other breeds bred in Soe, Icelandic,
Shout out to Rob Schultz
Nomia Farm.
for breeding the best, cutest vineyard sheep alive.
Okay, I might have to come out and change my attitude about
Yep,
sheep.
we're gonna have lambs next month.
Call me when they're born.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do.
I'll come out with the camera and I'll take all sorts of cute little videos and
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. We'll all dance.
Yeah. And the weather will be nicer too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you to Jonathan too for finally making it out to McMinnville. It's not his fault. It's my fault. And thank you both for coming out and agreeing to do this as well. It's been such a pleasure to have all of you here. That's wrap 1 for
Wow.
season 9, episode 1, featuring Maypop Wine Co. and Wild Child Wine. I love it. This was so much fun. And I love the fact you guys all knew each other.
Yeah.
So
Did you see his branded hat?
I did. Yes.
Pretty good.
So
Had a little
good.
Texas hold'em going on over there too. So we'll take pictures here in a little bit. Everybody can see the fashion going on in the world today in the room. So big shout out to John Adams, who is my audio genius over there. Whoop whoop over there. Dustin with Biscuit and Pickles did our snacks. I call them snacks. They are full blown meals. I love it. He always brings such good food for us to soak up all of our wine that we've drank with. And shout out to all of you. So thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Please continue to share. If you're not following us on social media, please do so. Videos will now be on YouTube as well because I'm going to be a lot better this year about putting them up. Actually, I hired somebody to do it. So it'll be timely. Yeah. My day job doesn't allow me a lot of free time. So,
Yeah.
and thank you all for who support me as well. This is a big deal. I do this out of the passion I have for the wine industry, and you all have embraced me with open arms and kind hearts. So with that, raise a glass, cheers, and do not set the glass down without drinking it first. And we'll see you next episode.